निरञ्जनं नित्यम् अनन्तरूपं भक्तानुकम्पाधृतविग्रहं वै ईशावतारं परमेशमिड्यं तं रामकृष्णं शिरसा नमामः. Welcome to our Saturday morning session on guided meditation for beginners. As usual, we will go through our meditation process. Let us meditate. Please sit upright, keeping your back, neck and head in a relaxed upright position. Imagine your body to be strong and healthy. Direct your attention to various limbs of your body, visualizing that each part is strong and healthy and luminous. Starting with your feet, ankles and calf, knees, thighs, back, stomach, chest, shoulders, arms, elbows, hands, your face, head, and the whole body. Visualize it to be strong, healthy, and pure. Now focus your attention to your breath. Inhale and exhale in a deep, rhythmic manner. Visualizing that as you breathe in pure light, pure energy that charges your body with all the vitality that you need. And as you exhale, you breathe out all negative energy, stress, tension, etc. As you breathe in, you may repeat the mantra Om. In this way, inhale and exhale, deep breathing thrice. Now let us pray for the welfare of all beings throughout the universe. May the cosmic consciousness out of which this whole universe and all living beings have come, by which all beings are sustained, and into which all things will resolve, may that infinite ocean of knowledge, purity, beauty, freedom, bliss, and all excellences, which resides in the heart of every human being, every living being, everything, may that divine consciousness be gracious on us and help us withdraw our mind from this external material world and direct it to the divinity within ourselves, so that we may discover that eternal peace and freedom and immortality of our true nature. Your thoughts and prayers are powerful. Send your thoughts to your right. Visualize the vibrations going out forever, uplifting all those in need. Send your prayers to your left. above, below, in all directions. With you as the center, wishing the good for the whole universe, radiating your prayers for the welfare of all. Now, withdraw your mind from the external world to within yourself. Visualize that your body is strong and steady, pure. Visualize that overlapping and penetrating this physical body is the subtle body made of light, and finer than that is the causal body made of knowledge, pure knowledge. And beyond that is that ocean of consciousness out of which all these three bodies are produced. In that ocean of consciousness, visualize a beautiful lotus, fully bloomed, full of fragrance and freshness. In the center of that lotus, visualize a flame, like a lamp kept in a windless place, spreading its radiance in all directions, dispelling the darkness of ignorance. You may replace that flame with any divine form of your choice, and visualize that light emanating from the divine form is the light of spiritual knowledge that dispels the darkness of ignorance. It's a light of purity that fills you with holiness throughout your body and mind. It's a light of supreme peace that fills you with serenity and tranquility. It is the light of absolute bliss that fills you with inner joy and contentment. It is the light of strength and fearlessness that makes you strong physically, mentally, emotionally, morally, and spiritually. Focus your whole mind on the divine presence within you, alive, living, pulsating, vibrating, energizing you from within. Feel the divine presence within you. Focus your mind on the divine form so that it occupies the whole mental space. And to keep your mind on the divine form, you may repeat the mantra that has been given by your spiritual teacher, or you may repeat the Gayatri mantra, or you may repeat the Shabda Brahman, or if you wish to meditate on Sri Ramakrishna, you may repeat Om Namo Bhagavate Ramakrishnaye Namaha. Keep your mind in the repetition, in the loop of the repetition of the mantra, keeping a watchful eye that the mind does not wander away. And if it does, gently bring it back to the divine presence within. Feel His loving grace, kindness and compassion, and eagerness to bestow spiritual knowledge upon. Open your arms to receive that grace. and embrace the divine presence within. Let's meditate in this way for a few minutes. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. And so in this way, for beginners, we should engage in meditation daily, morning and evening, dedicating a specific time and duration to focus on the divine light within you, to establish that connection so that the inner spiritual energy flows through that infinite source, the reservoir, the powerhouse that is within us, charging the intellectual or the knowledge body, the mental body, and the physical body. If you are charged from within, you will find that that energy will sustain you. You will not need to get much from outside. That idea should become very strongly anchored that whatever I need is within me. And the less I run for the temporary supports from outside, the better it is for me. No one can help you if you cannot help yourself by connecting yourself to the divine within you. That idea should become very, very strong. That itself will bring a sense of centeredness within you. And it will save you so much struggle and time and energy which we spend running off after things outside. And at the end of the day, we find that yes, temporarily they gave a little bit of happiness, a little bit of knowledge, but at the end of the day, it was just a waste of time because I don't have anything with me permanent. It was there, but it disappeared. So our devotees sometimes come and talk to us, and which is a common problem, challenge in everyone's spiritual life, and they're trying to start meditation is they're having difficulty concentrating the mind. And those who had never tried to control it probably were not aware of the restlessness of the mind. Now that they're trying to control it, they suddenly discover the mind is so restless. And sometimes it's very, very disturbing. I didn't know my mind is so restless. Well, it's better to know and diagnose yourself a problem than to live in blissful ignorance. So it's good that you're discovering. There's a method to bring that under control. And one must be very practical. That just by sitting for meditation 5 minutes for a few days, you should not expect to have that wonderful concentration of a yogi. Just like a person who has gone to a gymnasium for a few days and done a little bit of dumbbell does not look like a Mr. Universe. That person has worked hard for many, many years with a lot of patience and perseverance, and then from within that energy, the muscles manifested. So likewise, one has to be very, very practical. We have to have that same degree of seriousness about it. And as you go, it's not that one fine day you become very strong. You can feel that gradual manifestation of strength. So as you meditate, you'll find that a degree of inner anchoring and balance and peace will begin to happen. Those are very positive signs. You'll feel, yes, I'm making good progress, making some progress. And depends on how much input is there, how much exercises you do, depending on that will be your quality of meditation. So today I'm going to give you a couple of practical tips. We have gone through the whole cycle of series of the meditation process many, many times, 24, 25 times. Okay, that should have become very natural for you. But some practical tips on improving the quality of meditation, so to say. First is, two things we'll talk about today. One is, how do you prepare for that hour of meditation? Okay, you just don't jump into a meditation just like a good sportsman does not jump into a sports field. He goes and does some little bit of warm-up, gets ready for that action. Likewise, we should mentally prepare ourselves for that hour of meditation. A little bit of mindfulness and alertness during the day should be there. That look, today in the evening I will go and try to do something very profound and something wonderful. And I must keep my mind little prepared. It should not be unnecessarily disturbed and ruffled and troubled so that it's difficult to control. I will try to maintain a certain degree of poise and balance by being mindful not to engage this mind in things that which are disturbing, worrying, unnecessary things also. A little bit of alertness has to be there during the day. Otherwise, you cannot just let this mind run helter-skelter throughout the day and then you suddenly sit down and find everything is just fully focused. That's not very, very practical. So we'll talk about a little bit of that. How do we do that preparation before the hour of meditation? One is during the day, and then when I sit down, I just don't simply visualize the lotus inside my head. Okay, gather the mind which is scattered all over the place, and then get it in the right proper position, so to say, orientation. Then you'll find that the connection will happen. Otherwise, you're going everywhere, not getting a grip on the subject matter of your meditation. It catches and then it loses, catches and loses type of thing. And the second one is, while you are meditating, you suddenly discover that you have forgotten about the object of meditation, of the chosen ideal in your head, in your heart, and your mind is somewhere else, your workplace or your kitchen or this work I have to do. You discover that. When did it leave that wonderful meditation that I was trying to do and end up here? You, of course, will be very upset with yourself, or not like, how did I come here? So then you try to forcefully take your mind back, and after some time you find it has gone somewhere else. That is the experience we have it. So here are two techniques. One, don't forcefully extract the mind from that wherever it has gone. Drag it like a child who has wandered away somewhere, and you are bringing him back screaming and struggling. He doesn't want to be here, but you are bringing him back. So he's going to find every opportunity to run away again. You treat your mind like a little good friend and reason with it and say, okay, how did you come here? Let me trace you back. What was the journey you took? So you are in the office, then you are thinking about this thought before that, another thought before that, another thought before that. You'll be surprised how many intervening thoughts are there that you jumped across, you did not know. So you said, okay, this is how you went all there. And this is how it has been trained to function, run around amok, so to say, throughout his lifetime. So he said, look, where have you come? You are finding this so interesting. Let us see whether it is really so interesting and valuable. What is there that could not wait? Or is it something so important or so valuable that you have come here? And your mind said, no, it's really not so important. Then you reason with it. So why did you come? On the other side, we were trying to enter space where, if we can manage that together, you'll be happy, I'll be happy. You're trying to talk to your mind, as a friendly way. Convince him that that is something worthwhile doing. Reason with it like a child. And mind will say, yes. Okay, sorry about that. We'll try to go back. So let's do it. And so you treat it like a friend, not exerting force with a stick. How you discipline children, treat them like adults. It will behave like adults. If you treat it like a child, it will behave like a responsible child, like that. So deal your mind in that way, and you'll find that slowly it will begin to concentrate. So whatever was there, it had gone to, it's not so important, cannot wait, nothing like that. It's not so beautiful or whatever it is there, but inside is something so nice and beautiful. Let's try to get a little taste of that. And the mind says, okay, let's give it a try. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I'm not asking you to do it for an hour or two, something like that. But let's do it with great sincerity. Make him a partner in your spiritual life. Okay. So this person who's talking is your another faculty called buddhi. So there are two aspects of the mind. One is the active mind, the one who is going around talking, acting, watching, all those engaged with activities. There's another part of the mind which is watching the thought process, watching the action. That is called the buddhi, the sarathi. And in those people where the sarathi is alert, the buddhi is awakened, is called adhira, one whose power of discrimination has become strong. Buddhiman, You know, a child has grown up, he can discriminate between right and wrong and all that. He has said he is now responsible, he is mature. I don't have to give him all the instructions. I just give him the guidelines, he will do. Likewise, as the mind develops that maturity, we say, that power, so what is that power, maturity? The power of internal observation. Okay, so one part of this is the active mind, the other is the reflective mind who's watching the thought process. In meditation, by keeping the mind on a particular object and repeating the mantra, and also another part of the mind is watching that you are still repeating the mantra and not taken off somewhere else, this watchman, so to say, the observer, Sakshi, is the one we try to strengthen. If that is strong, you'll find that it's keeping the mind in that flow. But the moment it looks elsewhere or closes his eyes or goes to sleep, this fellow takes off. So you'll find that as you develop your meditation, develop means it's all about exercising, practicing. So the more exercises you do in the gymnasium, the muscles become stronger. Likewise, the more power of internal observation that you do by trying to fix one object of meditation and trying to make sure that your mind remains there, being vigilant and alert. Vigilant, watchfulness. Okay. Pramada. You know, apramada. When it goes off, that if you don't, you close your eyes, you dozed off, the mind took off. That type of thing. No, I'll be very, very alert. This is the mudra, the 2 ears of a deer. So look at this. This is the, looking from that side, looks like a deer. This is the mouth and the 2 ears are there. Okay, this is a mudra when you are doing puja. You hold the flowers and you put there. Full alertness has to be there. Just like in a forest, the deer is there grazing, but the ears are always alert. That might be a tag or something there. And if it doesn't, ears fall down, is just fully busy eating there, then the tiger will jump on that. Okay, so this mudra, that alertness is there. So only when you do puja and all those things with this particular mudras by which to have a meaning not about the physical positioning of the fingers, meaning about the mental alertness positioning of the mind, so to say. So here we are trying to meditate. When you fixed your goal, it's a beautiful form of the Lord. He's living, He's alive, He's communing with you, He's eager to bless you with that, and you are communicating. So you feel that presence in your heart, you feel that goodness within you. And then you're trying to tell the mind, feel that warmth and the radiance that's coming. Doesn't it sound so good, so peaceful? The moment the mind begins to enjoy that company, the inner company, it will find that other things are not so interesting. They pale away into insignificance. Just like at night you have these beautiful stars, they look beautiful. Then the moon comes out and the stars become little dimmer. The moon is so beautiful, full moon like that. But when the sun comes out, you don't even see this moon also. Likewise, when the inner sun comes up, shines, then everything, all those things that seem to appear interesting and where the mind is running, they will all automatically lose the taste and the whole mind will just simply bask in that warmth and glory of the sun that is within us. That is what we are trying to experience. But right now the sun has not really arisen because there's a cloud. Okay, so there's a cloud and you're not seeing the sun. We want to remove this cloud of ignorance so that the inner sun shines. And when it shines, naturally you don't have to make an effort to meditate and bring it there. But in the beginning, we have to go through this process. So it's all about internal talking. Okay, we are always talking. You don't need to talk to others. Have this internal conversation with yourself. You're always doing that. Sometimes people even talk to themselves almost loudly, you can see. You know? But that conversation is good. Have a spiritual conversation with yourself, not about what's happening around all over the world type of thing. In this conversation, you try to give the direction to the mind to seek the inner spiritual company of your higher self. When we meditate on God, God is not some outside being. He is our own higher self. In other words, I exist because He exists. I'm conscious, the mind seems to be conscious, the body seems to be conscious, the senses are functioning because of the consciousness of the divine from within. The moment that consciousness is disconnected, this body is not there. The eyes are there, but they don't see. You are gone, so to say, if it doesn't return. So that knowledge that we feel, by which we see things, hear things, the source of that knowledge is not in the thing outside there. The source is within. So that infinite ocean of consciousness, of knowledge, of beauty and purity and beauty and freedom, all that we in ignorance think is out there is really within. So we have to keep on to that thing, drive that one idea there. I am not a beggar, I am the king of the universe. In ignorance I am thinking I am a puppet. And who has deprived you of that? Well, my own mental mind is little clouded, and the sun that is on the other side I am not able to see. Let the wind of divine grace come and blow these clouds away, and you are then feeling the warmth and the radiance of the sun in all its glory. That is what is happening. Whether the cloud is there or not there, the sun doesn't come and go. It's always there, it's permanent. So when we say asatoma sadagamaya, that one teaching is sufficient. Oh Lord, take my mind from this temporary engagements with these temporary things, transient things, asat, which is there in time, it comes, it remains for a while, it disappears. But behind that there is the permanent thing, the Sat, which is my higher self, which I call God, which I might want to pray as Christ or Rama or Krishna or Ramakrishna. Those are all my higher self. We perceive them, personify them in different ways. And sometimes the divine principle also embodies itself in a human form so that he can communicate with us and we can communicate with him in our human language. That is divine grace. God's grace comes to that. So we want to establish that connection with the divine power within. And you'll find that when the energy begins to flow, because you require to have a connection, like you have an internet connection. If you're not connected to the internet, nothing is coming. Your computer is there, but the data is not coming in. You require to plug yourself to the power socket. Then the electricity will flow and your fan and light and things will begin to act. Likewise, we are also connected to the divine. It's not that we are not connected. But the capacity, amount of current we are able to power, we are able to draw is simply milliamperes. And the difference between, that's an ordinary man, so he has got a little bit of light, with that he is able to hear something, learn something, enjoy something. And the difference between that man and incarnation of God is that the incarnation of God is 100% connected. Zero resistance is there. Superconductor, and that light that shines through that body, that knowledge, that beauty, is infinite, almost shining in all its glory. That's what makes a Christ and a Buddha and a Ramakrishna. So, what is the difference between him and us? In us, that manifestation of that power is less. In him, it is shining in all its glory. How do we, so it's not that we have to bring God inside us. We are already there. It's just the power that we can take out of it is limited because of this ignorance or because of this impedance, resistance. Okay. What is the resistance? This sense of I and mine, ami, amar. Okay. That limits us to this small little shell. In that shell, we become prisoners. This is my body, this is my individuality, this is my likes and dislikes, and I will take everything from outside, me and mine, me and mine. We make ourselves smaller and smaller and smaller until we become a prisoner in that little cell. And then we suffer and say, why am I like this? So the process is not I, thou, 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 or unselfishness. The more the mind becomes unselfish, by connecting itself to everything and embracing and making everything its own, the more it feels that oneness with that infinite consciousness, what we call God, so to say. That is the spiritual discipline. So he's saying, this buddhi has to be very, very alert, watchful, that, and it has to be a good friend, so to say, to keep a watchfulness and alertness that your mind, the active mind, who is repeating the mantra, who is visualizing the divine form, remains on the object of your meditation. That watchman is not there, so to say. You go and you'll find that after 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you have taken a whole world tour, sitting there very nicely, smoothly, in a very quiet way. Physically you are here, but mentally you are everywhere type of thing. No, that watchman has to be there, and that watchman has within you. As you meditate daily, you will find that the power of internal observation, the buddhi shakti, will become stronger and stronger and stronger. And it will not only help you in your day-to-day meditation, mind you, it will help you in everything, because you are using that same mind and that same buddhi in making your everyday decisions also. The quality of your decisions, the timing of your decisions will become better and better. And when that becomes better, you will find you can spare yourself with so much unnecessary troubles, because if you make the wrong decision, you go on the wrong track, then so much time and energy is spent. And the most important commodity that we have, capital that we have, you will find is time. Life itself means certain time. We do not know how much we have. We assume that we have 80 years, 90 years, but it could be the next band and where time is over. So we cannot be very complacent that we will go on forever and keep on postponing something more important. So that is about being little alert, in alertness. The second thing is to understand that we make too many things which are irrelevant, insignificant, very important in our life. Okay, they are not really important. For example, if you look at your life last year and I ask you the question, what was the most important thing you did in last life? That was so important. I find many of you will be scratching your head, what was important? Everything has just faded away into insignificance, isn't it? It is just, nothing is important. What was but during that life, every day, during that last year, every day, at every moment, there was something that was jumping on your shoulders, trying to drive you there. I have to go there, I have to do this, I must do this, otherwise something as if the world is going to collapse, something like that. Something is driving you. We magnify small things, insignificant, trivial things, and make them so big, and then we get crushed by that, so to say. So if you look at this timeline, life is a journey. In a dark room, there's a rope. You can't see that rope at all. Somebody gives you a small torchlight, more like a laser torch. So you can just illumine a little part of it. And you start from one end, from the left-hand side, and you slowly move. What happens is, that which was in the dark lights up and you can see. When you move to the next spot, this fades into the darkness. The next one has come. And so slowly, that which is in the future darkness, so to say, becomes the present light and goes into the past darkness also. We are not able to see everything at the same time. This moment, this present is that light. And what is that light is something, not only lighting, it's more like a magnifying glass, so to say. So imagine, in that light you have holding a magnifying glass, and whatever you're focusing, that becomes big for you. Alright? You magnify it. I'm focusing my mind into it. It has occupied my whole mental space for the time being. But when I move that hand lens, magnifying glass to the next spot, what happens to the first one? It has become small and insignificant here. Something like that happens. When we are in the moment, whatever we focus our mind on, that focusing occupies our mental space. And when we move to the next one, this one fades away into the memory. Somewhere it is there. But if you think about it, everything is trivial, you might say. Everything fades away into non-importance. But we make it very important and significant for the time being, so that it's almost crushing us, driving us, making us restless and all that. So if we learn to look and zoom out of that particular moment, now, today, this week, this month, this year, embrace the whole life, then what happens? These small things which you have magnified become insignificant, and life becomes very important. And you suddenly say, what is the purpose of life? All that is going. And you are mindful of that global picture, the bigger picture. Okay. And you see the whole perspective changes. When you zoom in, it appears in one way. When you zoom out, it appears in another way. Like when your computer, you have this Google Earth. When you zoom out, the whole Earth looks like a blue ball. When you zoom in, it looks like a flat surface. Both are right, depending where you're looking at from. For an end, the surface of the Earth is flat. For an astronaut who is out in the space, he's telling you, I can see it is round. Is it flat or is it round? It depends on where you're looking from. So, when we zoom into the present moment and say, living in the present, okay, some people say, focusing on the moment, mindfulness, living in the present. Another method is to zoom out and be mindful of the whole lifespan and whole existence. Mindful of your own mind. So something has to be different from the mind to be mindful of it. Mind cannot itself be mindful of it. There is an observer who is separate from it, which is the buddhi, who is observing the contents of the mind, but he has the capacity to zoom in and out. And when he zooms out, then everything in the day loses its significance and importance. The moment they lose their significance and importance, they stop troubling you. Okay, your mind reacts to whatever it thinks to be the real. Is you are dreaming. In a dream, if you see a tiger, the tiger is making you full of fear and all that. Your heart is beating. You are trying to rest, run away and all that. But you suddenly wake up, and then what happens? You compare the dream state with the waking state, and immediately you relegate the whole dreaming experience as to be unreal. The moment you do that, are you afraid of the tiger anymore? Are you looking for the tiger where it is? Are you running away from it? No. So whatever we can make unreal, that will lose its grip to trouble us. So when Sri Ramakrishna says, God alone is real and the world is unreal, he's trying to transport us, encourage us to go to have that experience. And if we, in the light of that experience, as and when it happens, this whole world will become like a dream. And when it becomes like a dream, you wake up from the dream, then it's not troubling you. It's there. You might go to sleep again, but you will know it's a dream. You're awake in the dream. That's the whole idea. That's called enlightened, awakened state of mind. B. So, this is how we try to train our mind. One is, during the day, being very alert and taking care of the mind. Not getting it too dirty and polluted, so to say. Because afterwards, you have to give yourself a nice wash and a bath. Meditation is trying to give you a mental wash and a bath. If you are wallowing in mud and all that, then it's difficult to. I'll try to keep a certain degree of cleanliness of the mind. Okay. Secondly, before you sit down and jump into the meditation, you do this exercise. Sit down there for 5 minutes, try to reflect of where I am, in the time space. Today, apparently, this is whole day, all those things that I was thinking to be important are not really so. And I look at this week and this month and this year, and everything has become insignificant. Just like we are going higher and higher and higher, then from that higher level, all the trees and the grass look to be the same, because from that high altitude. But when you are here, then the trees are bigger and the grass is small and all those things happen. So that method of zooming out, making everything insignificant, if you can do that and then go into meditation, you'll find that those things don't trouble you. You see the psychology behind it? So little bit of preparation is there. And the second one is this. Sometimes you're meditating, the mind is running away. Don't try to forcefully control it. Watch the mind, wherever it is going. Wherever it is going. So that's another way of controlling the mind. And Swami Vivekananda gives the suggestion. Imagine, a monkey is very, very restless. Okay? And suppose a monkey has been bitten by a scorpion. It's jumping all over the place. He has taken some wine or something by mistake. So more restless. And a ghost has possessed him. So he's totally out of control. Such is the nature of the mind. You want to control this mind. Okay, so what's the method? Suppose you took a stick and said, sit down still. It's going to jump even more. So forcefully trying to control the mind is difficult like that. There's another method. You watch the mind. So suppose the monkey is jumping everywhere, the monkey mind is jumping everywhere. You watch the mind, the monkey jumps up a few times, then it will sit down for a fraction of a second, few seconds, and look at you. And then again it will jump. You don't do anything. Okay, you are just observing. This is the buddhi trying to just keep a watch. The next moment the monkey mind will sit down for a little while and watch little longer. And if you keep on watching, you'll find that at some point, he's totally still looking at you watching. You want to sometimes control a naughty child. You just don't shout at him. Just watch him. He will do a few things and look at you. Then he will do a few things again. After some time, he will simply keep, because somebody is watching. When no one is watching, then they feel they're totally free to do everything. So likewise, this mind, when it knows that it's being watched, and if it runs somewhere, somebody is going to bring him back, he will not wander away far away. At some point, he will just simply become calm, and in that calmness, it will begin to feel something within. And when that feeling happens, that inner connection happens, then you say, this is nice, this is good, I like it. Let me sit there for longer type of thing. This is how we can train our mind. So these are some practical tips you can do in preparation for meditation and during meditation. I hope this will be helpful to you. Om asato ma satgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om shanti shanti shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.